Che Guevara. Che Guevara was an Argentine doctor who became one of the world's most recognizable revolutionary figures. After traveling across Latin America and witnessing widespread poverty and inequality, he came to believe that armed revolution was the only path to social change. He joined Fidel Castro's movement in Cuba and played a major role in overthrowing the Batista government in 1959. Later, he attempted to support revolutions in other countries before being captured and executed in Bolivia. His image remains one of the most famous political symbols in modern history.
Fidel Castro.
Fidel Castro led the Cuban Revolution that brought an end to the rule of Fulgencio Batista. After years of guerrilla fighting in the mountains, his forces entered Havana in 1959 and established a socialist government. Castro remained the leader of Cuba for nearly 5 decades, making him one of the longest-serving heads of state in modern history. His rule transformed Cuba's economy, education, and healthcare, while also creating lasting tensions with the United States during the Cold War.
Mahatma Gandhi. Mahatma Gandhi became the leading figure in India's struggle from independence from British rule through peaceful resistance. Rather than using violence, he encouraged marches, protests, and civil disobedience to challenge colonial laws. His famous Salt March demonstrated how ordinary people could oppose an empire without taking up arms. India gained independence in 1947, and Gandhi's philosophy of nonviolence later inspired civil rights movements around the world. Nelson Mandela. Nelson Mandela devoted much of his life to ending apartheid, the system of racial segregation in South Africa. After spending 27 years in prison for his political activities, he was released as negotiations for change began. Instead of seeking revenge, Mandela promoted reconciliation between communities and helped guide the country toward democratic elections. In 1994, he became South Africa's first black president, symbolizing a peaceful transition after decades of conflict.
Vladimir Lenin.
Vladimir Lenin was the leader of the Bolshevik Revolution in Russia during 1917. He argued that the existing government should be replaced by a socialist state led by workers and peasants. Under his leadership, the Bolsheviks seized power and withdrew Russia from the First World War. Lenin's government laid the foundations of the Soviet Union, making his revolution one of the most influential political events of the 20th century.
Mao Zedong.
Mao Zedong led the Chinese Communist Party to victory after a long civil war against the nationalists. In 1949, he proclaimed the founding of the People's Republic of China, ending decades of conflict. Mao introduced sweeping economic and social reforms that dramatically reshaped Chinese society. His leadership also included major campaigns such as the Great Leap Forward and the Cultural Revolution, both of which had profound and lasting effects on the country.
Muammar Gaddafi.
Muammar Gaddafi came to power in Libya after leading a military coup that overthrew the monarchy in 1969. He introduced a political system based on his own ideas, outlined in what he called the Green Book, while using Libya's oil wealth to fund development projects and expand the state's role in society. At the same time, his rule was marked by strict political control and periods of international confrontation. During the Arab Spring in 2011, an uprising supported by a NATO intervention led to the collapse of his government and his death.
Ayatollah Ruhollah Khomeini.
Ayatollah Ruhollah Khomeini became the central figure of the Iranian Revolution that overthrew Shah Mohammad Reza Pahlavi in 1979. After years in exile, he returned to Iran as millions welcomed him home. The revolution replaced the monarchy with the Islamic Republic, introducing a new political system in which religious leadership held significant authority. Khomeini's leadership reshaped Iran's domestic politics and had a lasting influence on the politics of the Middle East.